I kind of left off because my phone overheated and shut off. So let me get back to this. The reason I got this cooler is I saw it on a video and I really liked it. It fit the kayak really well. It sits in the back really well. It sits behind the landing gear. It doesn't bind into anything. It has little bottle openers on the side if you're like taking alcohol out with you. It's got an H-rail, a little lockdown rail to put your ram balls on, and I have a couple of fishing rod holders on there. And this is how I strapped it down. It was kind of tricky to strap it down. I used part of the bungee cord to hold it down the back, and then I used some Malone straps in the front to the H-rail on the kayak to hold it down. So I didn't want to go over too many features of this because everybody's kind of seen the 2018s, and there's plenty of videos online about them. A couple of the things that I changed, though, the things that I noticed that bothered me, were this thing comes with 2 tackle box slots in here. And I really like to kind of have my gear, my little handheld stuff just right there, put my phone in there, other little things that I keep along, and this box is pretty watertight down here, so it keeps everything nice and dry. I just washed these so you can see a little bit of water in here, but everything is really nice and dry. I did put the padding on here. I like the way it looks. I will say, I knew this. I kind of figured this going into it. This color does tend to stay dirty. You can see I only had it out twice since I got this one, and it's already getting a little bit dingy. The other thing I noticed is, I think I talked about this in an earlier video, is the kickstand cable over there, the kickstand handle. I was thinking that maybe I was, just wasn't very smart and didn't realize what that was for on the older models, but apparently I'm not the only one, because now they've changed the name. It no longer says kickstand. Now it says seat. So now you know that it pulls the kickstand for the seat back here and allows you to sit it back a little further. Yeah, there's not much else. I put the stake rail on here and the trolley. I carry it with me. I think that's a little better than that. I think it's $2,000 for that electric stake that you can put back there. I've looked at some other things with some trolling motors. It's a little too much weight. It's already pretty heavy, and I just didn't want to get it that far into it. Yeah, and my phone keeps overheating a little, so I'm gonna try to get through this pretty quick. So yeah, the biggest differences I noticed is the 2015. This is my wife's now, and I put the padding on there, and it looks pretty nice. I really like the color of this one. I think a little bit better than the newer one. The 12-foot seems to be a little bit easier, actually quite a bit easier to maneuver and angle than the 14-foot. I don't know if that's a design change just in Hobie with Hobie, or if it's just the characteristics of having a 14-foot kayak versus a 12-foot. But that 14 is a little bit harder to maneuver. So lake fishermen, I tend to want to stick with the 12-footer. If you're out in the marina, the bay, the 14-footer is going to give you more stability and have a little more space for you. Yeah, I mean, the biggest differences that I notice is, you've obviously got the forward and reverse drive on a 2018, but you can drop one of those into the 2016 model just fine. We swapped them out, and they fit in there just fine and work just fine. The Mirage drive does give me a little bit of trouble. The new one going forward and reverse, the handles keep popping out, and I'm going to talk to Hobie about that. I have the Boondocks landing gear, which I talked about earlier. It got bent the very first time I used it. I'm not very impressed with that, but I'm going to see if Boondocks will fix that. Anyway, I'm going to have to cut this video short because my phone keeps overheating, and I've really kind of covered everything I wanted to cover anyway. So if you have any questions, post down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. I'm not on the internet quite often. Usually if I am, it's for work, so I'd like to stay away from it at home, but I'll answer as many of them as I can. Thanks for watching.